Okay, we have seen some of text properties. We call them as the typographical properties. Okay, in that we have seen what is the line height. Okay, the property called line height. We can provide some gap between the lines in a paragraph. Letter spacing, so that we can provide space between the letters. Likewise, word spacing, text, and then we have seen all these things, right? The next one is text transform. We go for the typography. Okay, so in this, what is that? Text transform. So we can convert the actual text into some caps lock letters, okay, uppercase. If you want, you can convert the text into uppercase by using this property. Now you can see all the letters inside this paragraph are capital letters, uppercase letters. Likewise, you can convert it into lowercase. Okay, likewise, you can convert it to camel case, that is capitalized. Capitalized means the first letter in every word will be capital letter and remaining all are small letters. Along with this, we have some other regular and general properties like along with this. Now we have seen capitalize, lowercase, uppercase. Something we have something called inherit. Inherit in the sense it's going to derive the properties of the parent into child. So here we are applying inherit property, property value for this particular text transform property. Got it? Okay. So what do you mean by this? So inherit. Let us suppose. Let me go for this. I do have a body tag inside this HTML page. So body is the parent element. Okay. So for this body element, we have something called text transform. I'm going to do text transform. Okay, the text transform will be uppercase. You can see this is the body, that is the parent of this paragraph. So I have given what are the properties, what are the child elements that are there, all will inherit the uppercase. Okay, you can see heading as well as paragraph. That is what is called inherit. So if you want to follow the same type of value of this particular text transform for a particular parent element, okay, you can just use this inherit property. So it will derive what are the parent properties that are there. But I'm sorry, it will derive what is the value that is set to the text transform in the parent element that will be applied to the child element. Okay, that is called inherit. The next one is we have something called initial. Okay, initial in the sense it will indicate what is the first value that was loaded at the time of DOM tree. Okay, actually what happens is this is my web page. Okay, this is my browser. Inside this we have a software called DOM. So DOM is going to create a tree-like structure of this HTML page, right? Okay, so this is called DOM ready state. DOM ready state. If DOM is ready, then it is applied to the web page. Okay, so we have two states here. One is DOM ready state. Second one is after DOM rendering state. This is DOM ready, or DOM tree ready, or DOM rendering state. DOM rendering in the sense we are what are the changes that we have, what are the structure that is there for this DOM tree that will be applied to the web page. Okay, so initial means, so at the state of DOM ready, okay, that means you can say first time what the web page contains, what type of style that it contains, that is called initial. Okay, so if you want initial values, you can use this initial for every property, text transform initial. So So this is the initial nature. Okay. For example, I want to make this to be, okay, here I'm not able to show the initial state. Why? Because by default, browser will render the default states, right? We have seen already. We have something called browser defaults. After that, our CSS will be overlapped on this, right? After that, okay, through CSS, whatever the thing we need, we can add it. So this is default nature. This is our CSS. Okay, default means for the paragraph it will be 16 pixels and Times New Roman. Okay. After that down tree, what is the first element of the down tree? Okay. After the HTML, we have body. It has uppercase for this text transform. After that, we have paragraph is going to be rendered. On top of the body element, the paragraph is going to be rendered, right? So it has an initial property. What do you mean by initially? This one. So that will be applied to the paragraph, not this uppercase. Got it? So that is what we are getting here. The next one is we have something called none. If you don't want to, already uppercase is there. See, for the time being, I just want to remove this text transform from the paragraph. So by default, it has uppercase. Why? Because text transform for the body is uppercase image. Okay, uppercase is given. So P is the child element of the body. So whatever the property that is there, what are the value of this text transform inside the body, that will be applied to the paragraph. That is what we have seen here. Now when I say text transform none, so it's going to remove whatever the states that are there for the text transform, that will be removed for that particular element. Okay, that is text transform none. That means it's what do we call it's going for the browser defaults. Okay. Next one, unset. Unset is just like undo. You know, undo. So something like I can do like this. Unset. This is undo. Okay. Unset is used to toggle the undo nature. Refresh this. See, I just undo it, and I like to do this. Something I want to make here. The paragraph is given. Text transform to capitalize. Let's go to none for the time being. Okay. Unset. Go to the page. Okay. We need to get this one. So we just initialize it to capitalize. Okay. But when we say unset, after from capitalize, it will change to capital letters. So I'm not sure. I'm not going to show you that now. Let me take. Let me try like this. Page. It should come as. Okay, probably unset is not working for this case. Why? Because we do have applied uppercase, capitalize, and lowercase. So when I said unset, it will go back to this capitalize. Unfortunately, I'm not able to get here for this capitalize. So I'll do one thing. Undo it. Insert it. No, it's not coming. Okay, if I got any chance, I'll explain this kind of nature of this particular property value in any other property. Okay, well, because here I'm not able to get the previous value by using this concept. Okay. So likewise, we have different types of values for this text transform. All capitalized, inherit, initial, lowercase, something like that. Okay. So this one will take The next one is text decoration. Decoration in the sense, if you do want any kind of underlines, power lines that strike through, something like that, you can go for this, such kind of text decoration. Text decoration, underline. Oops. See, we got an underline for each and every letter. We have something called overline. The line will be on top of the character. Okay. Strike through. Strike through. I think. Or line through, sorry, not strike through, it's line through. See, it's going to strike it out. The next one is blink. Blink is not going to work for this case. Why? Because text will blink. See, I'm not going to see the blink kind of nature is was removed actually. Okay. And the remaining are same. We have initial, inherit, done. Okay. So by using this, we can remove any kind of text decoration. Generally, this particular property is very useful when you are going to nullify the text decoration of the anchor tag. So, for example, if I want to take an anchor tag here, something like this, I have. If you want to change your anchor tag to some other button or any other kind of shape, okay, first of all, you need to remove this underline, right? So, in order to do that, we can use anchor tag, text decoration. What was that? I can use none. So, you can remove that one and underline. Okay, that is about this text decoration. The next one is text align. You know this. We have seen align property in HTML. This is different. Text align is if you want to align the text in right side, left side. Okay. Text align center. If you want to link the text to the center. See, I'm not able to apply the text align property for this one. Okay, but you can do this for the paragraph. See, some change has gone through for this paragraph, right? The reason is H1 and this particular paragraph are block level elements. So block means it will occupy entire width of the browser. So the internal content can be adjusted, but because it has a plenty of space, right? It has horizontally it can spread towards the ends of the browser, so that the text can be placed right side, left side, or center based on the content. Okay. Whereas coming to the inline is going to occupy only this particular width of that particular element. So because of that, the size of this particular inline element is this much only. So you are not going to apply any kind of text align property for this. If you increase the size, see, if you increase the size of the inline property, of course we can do that later on. Then you can adjust it. Okay. So directly with HTML, you're not able to adjust this text using text align property or align attribute. Okay. Remember this one. That means what I'm saying is text align property won't work for inline elements until unless you convert inline elements as a block or inline block elements. I will talk about such kind of behavior later on. What is a inline block elements? What is the block level elements in CSS? Okay. We do have experience in the HTML about this particular nature, right? What is a block level element? What is an inline element? So always remember text align property. You won't make your text content or image content. Even the image is an inline element. So unless you put your image inside a particular, what we call a box, a div element or any kind of box, you're not able to move your inline image element. Okay, so always remember that one. So, and by the way, let's try this one. I'm talking a lot. What about this? Still it's not working. Let's go. Okay. I'm not able to apply text align property center, right and left. Okay. The next one is text shadow. The text shadow is the latest one that is given in CSS 3. All these are CSS 2 properties. This is CSS 3. If you want to list out the CSS properties, okay, you have something called CSS 3 generator. There is a website called CSS 3 generator. We do something like this, generator.com. Just click on this box. It will list out some CSS properties. Okay, so inside this we have something called text shadow. Okay, these are the CSS most important CSS properties, CSS 3 properties that will be frequently transferred in the interview. Okay. So let's go for the text shadow. I want to make this to be text shadow, right? So I just go for H1 element. Okay, I'm providing text shadow. So for this text shadow property, it will take 4 values. Okay, one is horizontal movement of the shadow, second one is vertical movement of the shadow, and third one is blurring. Blurring means diluting the actual details, diluting nature. Okay, or the details is going to spread out. It's not spreading. It's going to dilute the detail, actual detail. It's called blurring, right? So I can go for blurring. And if you want to go for any kind of color, you can use some color. Okay, I have taken some color that is randomly generated. So this is a color, this is a blur, this is horizontal vertical movement, this is a horizontal movement. Let's refresh this page. Now I can see that H1 contains some shadow behind the scene. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is just go for this, right click on it, inspect it. We have something called, see, this is the vertical movement of the shadow. This is horizontal movement of the shadow. This is blurring. Blurring means diluting, see, the details. We're not able to identify what actually it is, right? So when we have more blurring, we are not able to identify. This is the color. I'm not going to change this. Different colors you can change. What color you want, you can add this one. Okay. So that is what is called text shadow. This is very much useful when you are going to create some shadows behind the text, like some kind of vampire text, all those things. Okay. Different kinds of text shadows you can develop by using this one. All these kind of things are just for decoration purpose. The next one is color. Okay, so if you want to apply any color for a particular element, for example, so I want to apply the color. This is not background color. This is for text content. Okay, so the color can be applied. Okay, the color property can be applied by using different ways. The first one is you can apply RGB. One second. Yeah, hexadecimal representation like this. Hexadecimal representation. This is hexadecimal representation. You can apply through RGB notation. RGB. This is one kind of function given by the CSS. Inside this, you can pass red, green, blue. 25, 136, 136. RGB. So red, green, blue. By mixing up the colors, red, green, blue, we can achieve this one. Okay. So the next one is RGBA format. RGBA format. RGB in the sense same way, same thing what we have applied to RGB. We can apply through RGB also. But the last one is called alpha. Alpha means opacity, or what I call transparency of the color. For example, the transparency of the color will be given from 0.0 to 0.1. Sorry, 0.0 to 1.0. So I'm going to give something like 0.45 or 0.2. Let's take this one. For the timing, I'm not going to show this because we have frequently used this one, right? You can see. Uh, oh, okay, I'm talking about this color. Now you can see there is a light color, right? Light blue color. That is what is called transparency. If you apply this to be 9, it will be thick in nature. It's much thicker for this Google. That is called RGBA. Red, green, blue, and transparency. Alpha. We refer it as a alpha. And we have directly we can use red color, blue color. These are the enumerated values. If you are providing any named values, then it is referred as a enumerated values. So we got a red color. We have light green. We need to remember these type of things in our CSS. Such kind of constant values. Light green, red, blue, light gray, maroon, pink. All these kind of names we need to remember for this thing. Whereas for this, we need to check for the value what it has. Okay. Most of the people will use RGBA because it has opacity as well, right? So I'm providing here red 240, 136, 123, 0.3. That was the page. Now you do have some light shaded color in the background. Sorry, the text shadow is in light shaded. Okay. If you want to see that, you just move it out 10 pixels down. See, there is a transparency in the color for the shadow, right? Okay. That is what is called text shadow and color. The next one is direction. Direction is something like if you want to start your characters from left to right or right to left. By default, we follow left to right only, right? So for the paragraph, I can use something called direction, right? Direction. RTL. This is not default. This is right to left. So let's see what happens. The paragraph starts from this point. Actually, the starting is here only, but you got a text indent here, and the end will be here. Okay, that is the difference, right to left. Regular English starts from left to right, whereas Urdu, such kind of language will start from right to left, right? In such case, we can maintain the directions. The next one is vertical align. If you want to move the text in a vertical fashion and vertical direction, okay, of course, a vertical movement of the element is not possible. Okay, of course, we after CSS3 we can make it out, but there is no direct property in CSS to make a particular element to be vertically centered or vertical movement. Okay, there is no direct property. We are using indirect properties. I will show that one later. Okay, but this vertical align is talking about. I'm talking about text within a text. See, for example, I'm going to take something, a mark element here. Let's take this one. This is the mark element, and yeah, I want to create a new mark element here. I'm going to access mark element. Now I'm applying vertical align for this particular mark element. Okay. Now I can move this particular text content from the. I can move from the baseline. If you want to make it a subtext or supertext, top, middle top, something like that. All these things we have. So let me talk about the baseline. By default, it will be baseline initially. See, I told you already, all these characters are going to settle down on a line. We can call it the baseline, right? So I provided a property for this mark tag which should be matched with this particular baseline of the parent element. So paragraph is the parent element, whereas this is the mark element inside this paragraph. So these two baselines to be matched. Okay, that is what is called vertical align baseline. And we can provide something called supertext. So supertext. See, supertext means something. It will be on the main line. Why? Because if you want to do something 2 power m or 2 power or a power 6, such kind of any super subscript you want, you can use this kind of thing, vertical align super, or you can use subtext. So this will be sub prefix. And you have something called a length. We can vary this through pixels. 30 pixels if you want to move. See, it should be 30 pixels height from the baseline. Likewise, you can move this particular text content from the actual paragraph. Got it? So this is what is called vertical align, only for text properties. If already text is there, inside the text, if you want to raise a particular text element, okay, a group of text element, then you can apply that one. You won't apply that vertical align text for this anchor tag. Why? Because this is only text that is available. Anchor tag is an element. Inside that, of course, you can make this G to be controlled by using vertical align. You can control OOGLE. Okay. You won't apply such vertical align to all the paragraph. Why? Because we need a reference. From that, we are going to move the text content. So here the reference is the paragraph element. From that we are moving this mark tag, right? Text mark tag. Remember always. So this won't apply to your regular container elements like div, article sections, article, okay, H2 elements, all these things. You won't move H2 elements by using this property. You won't move vertically anchor tags or paragraphs. You can move only the content inside the paragraph with respect to the paragraph content. Okay, that is what is called mark. Got it? That's fine. And likewise, we have middle, something like that. So this is not much important. Okay, we don't go for this. The next text properties we refer as font. We have separate properties that are there for this font. Font family, font size, font weight, style, variant, font face. So the last one is the custom font creation. Okay, for applying custom fonts to our what do you call elements or HTML elements. This is available inside the CSS3, not in CSS2. Okay, let's go for the font family. I just want to remove all this content right now. I don't want this. I don't want this. Now, for this paragraph only, okay. Let's see the direction. So for this paragraph, I want to apply the font family. Font family times new Roman. I have to apply times new. Okay, this to be capital, right? New Roman. Okay, this is of course by default it will be times new Roman. If you want to take one more thing, where the now that is also good. See, I'm not applying quotation for this one. I'm applying quotation for the times new Roman. Why? Because times new Roman is a multi-word string, right? So in a space is not going to be accepted by the CSS property as a value. So that is why you need to include such kind of property value inside quotations. And we have Vedana. Okay, Vedana is a single word font, so I can directly apply like this without any quotations. Now let me apply. This is Vedana style. If why I'm providing two here, you can provide any number of values as a font families. The reason is, if my computer doesn't find Vedana font, then by default, then immediately the browser will go for the Times New Roman. Okay. Because of that, we are providing multi values for this font family. Sans serif, serif, sans serif, and each every value to be separated with comma. So this is a Vedana style. If something gone wrong with the Vedana, it will go to sans serif. Okay. If something gone wrong with sans serif, it will go to the Times New Roman. That is what is called font family. Okay, you can provide any number of font names. And by the way, you can have font sizes also there. The most important property in CSS that bother you is the size. Okay, some people will provide in terms of pixels, some people will provide in terms of points, some people use percentages, some people will use empirical values. So it will create some kind of confusion. I want to clear that. Okay, just consider that. Generally, the size will be, okay, size can be represented in two ways. One is absolute representation. Second one is relative. Okay. So in this absolute representation, we do have something called pixels, millimeters, centimeters, inches, kilometers. You can write like mine. Okay, and pixels, millimeters, inches, points, something like that. Whereas in relative representation, we have something called percentages. That means relative in the sense we are applying the, see, absolute in the sense we are directly specifying what size of that particular element will be. Whereas in case of relative, we are talking the size of the element with respect to the, with respect to the parent element. So we are going to give something like percentages, empirical units, root empirical units. We'll talk about this one first of all. So generally, coming to this pixel, there is a relation between pixels and points, all those things. If you want to get it out, you just go for this. I'm going to take relation between, I don't remember this, between PT and PX. Let's try this one. Something like that. I just want to show one. See, I got this one. That's fine. 12 points is equal to 16 pixels. So 1 pixel is equal to 12 by 16 points, right? Likewise. So you can remember this point. This is also important. 12 points is equal to 16 pixels. Okay. Likewise, 1 EM is equal to, EM means empirical units. EMPH, something like that you can use, empirical units. 1 empirical unit is equal to 16 pixels. Okay. So it starts from this one. Whereas coming to the percentage is different. So the percentage is talking with respect to the parent element, right? Of course, this is also talking with respect to the parent element, but we defaultly takes browser. We defaultly takes 1 EM is equal to 16 pixels. For the time being, let me show that one first of all. We have generally your paragraph comes with the 16 pixels only. If you want to inspect it for this, you just go for the computed styles. Inside this default nature you can find Where is this? Talking about this one. I'm talking about the font size, right? Where is the font size? Where is? No computer stands for this. We need to get it out. That's not it. I believe I'm right. Okay, it's not giving the computer styles. This is fine. I want the default nature. We'll get show all. Yes, I want this show all. You can see all these are default natures you can find inside of this. So what we have edited font family, right? We have it. By default, you can see the paragraph has 16 pixels as the size of the paragraph. For this particular H1 element, it has 32 pixels. So remember, the H1 has 32 pixels, twice that of the actual paragraph. Paragraph size. Got it? Always remember this one. So by default, your browser has 16 pixels for the font. What do we call paragraph? Now, what I want to, if you want to see whether it is a 16 pixels or not, you have something. Okay, I do want something more tools. Okay. 12. I want some. One second, please. So you can see that. Unfortunately, I don't find the ruler here. I want some add-on for this. Just wait a second. Ruler add-on. Oh, I do have an add-on. By using this, you can check what kind of. Oh, this is fine. I'm going to add this to the Chrome. I think it's added. Alt P you can use. So let's go for this Alt P. Okay. I just press the Alt P, not Alt P. Alt P. I want the top level, so let me go for this. Okay, I want top level. Okay. Okay. It has to display. It's not applying. I'm not sure why it's not applying. So let's go for other. Okay, let me try again. Alt B. Alt B. I think I need to restart the Chrome. Sure. Ruler. No. Let's try some other. So just I want to show you how this is going to be. Let's try this one. Okay, so what is it? This is not what I want. Okay, this is not. Let's try to add this one. This will work, I think. Yes. You can see, hey, I got some roller, right? I don't know whether I need to set some properties. Okay, anyway, for the time being, just assume from this point to this point it will be 100 pixels. Okay, and you can understand this will be around what do you call 32 pixels. So this is a 50 pixels, right? This is a 50 pixels. Inside that, it occupy two pieces. That means almost it is 25 pixels, right? It's showing 25 pixels from the baseline. So if you observe this, when I place mouse on it, okay, you can find the space of the particular text content. Now you can see the check out the blue color. How much size it has been taking? Almost 50 pixels, right? I think. Let me check. This is 100 pixels. So each block will be around. This is 1, 2, 3. Okay, and for 40 pixels is taking. Not sure that. Once again, let me zoom it. So this has to be. This is 5 pixels, 5 pixels, 5 and 5. Okay, total how many pixels it is? Sorry, sir. This is 10, 10, 10, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. Okay, but what's the one? I'm not sure. Let's show like this. So let us take this one. How many pixels it will take? Around it has to be 16 pixels only, but unfortunately, let's try from this point. This is assume this is 1, 2, 3. Okay, let me zoom out. Zoom out. So let me try 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So this is 100 pixels. So inside that, each will take 10 pixels. Just observe the. I want to increase this. Yeah, let me take one thing. A Q. I'm going to take for this Q. The baseline will be from this point, right? And the ascender. This is the descender, right? Descender. This is the baseline. Baseline means all characters got settled down. If any character extended, that is called what do we call descender. So likewise, we have ascender, our main line. This is the main line. So you can take from this point to this point. Almost it will be this is 10 plus 5 or 6 pixels. Almost it will be 16 pixels. You try, okay, and you can get exactly accurate value. So similarly for this heading also, you should get 32 pixels. You need to consider. I want to remove the uppercase here for the time being. Then you can find the difference. And after that, now you can see from this point you have to take, and up to this point you have to take. How many pixels? 1, 2, 3. 32 pixels almost, right? 32 pixels you are getting. So for H1 we have 32 pixels. Okay. So that is the way it's going to arrange our character based on the pixel size. This is by using ruler you can identify what setting we can get. Likewise, we can provide the font size in terms of pixels. Font size will be 40 pixels. I'm going to give 40 pixels for this, and okay, refresh the page. This is 40 pixel size. Each and every character in the paragraph is changed to 40 pixels. This is called absolute change. If you change this to points, you can give. I have already given the relation. 12 points is equal to 16 pixels. This is the normal default font size. You can give in terms of centimeters, 12 centimeters, right? Each character will be 12 centimeters. See how big it is. So let me give this to be 1 centimeter. Let's see how much that is. This is 1 centimeter pixels. Oh, sorry, 1 centimeter characters. Okay. Likewise, you can give inches as well. I'm not going to show that. Next one is relative font. I'm going to give 30% of the font. With respect to the parent element, what is the parent default font size here? The default nature of the default font for the paragraph in the browser is 16 pixels. But it will be the what you call HTML body size. Okay, from that 16 pixels, you calculate 30%. Almost 16 pixels, 16 3 is 48. I mean, you will get 4.8 pixels. Very small letters. See, each character will be 4.8 pixels. So that means you are talking with respect to the parent element. Parent is by default. If you want to see the parent element properties, the body of the HTML, just go for this. So you can see that 30% pixels in the sense. Okay, so 30% pixels in the sense, 30% font size in the sense, it will take 30% from the parent element. The parent element by default, if you want to look at the properties of the body element, the parent element, go for the computer styles. Look for the font size. What is the font size here? 16 pixels, right? For all the elements inside the body will be applied with 16 pixels by default. In this 16 pixels, 30% means it will be around 4.8 pixels. That is why you are getting such a small value. If I say 300%, 3 times of the actual pixels, this is 3 into 16, 48 pixels, 2 times, 200%. That is what is called a relative font size. Okay? And we have something called empirical units are also there, 1 EM. Okay? 1 EM by default it will take 1 EM is equal to 16 pixels. That means if the parent has 16 pixels by default, then 1 EM will be 16 pixels. If the parent has a font size of what is it called 48 pixels or 34 pixels, then 1 EM will be 34. Now it's going to change. Got it? 1 EM means empirical units. This is 34 pixel size. Both applied for this H1 and this one. Polygons we have given fixed. This is absolute representation of the font size. This is relative. You can take 0.1 size of 0.5 times of EM. See? Likewise. That is font size. The next one is what we have. REM, root empirical units. Root empirical units means it's going to take with respect to the HTML element. Now, let me show this one. You got some small elements, right? Even though I provided a 34 pixels for the body, but it's going to take from the root HTML element, this element. Okay. So by default, HTML is also having 16 pixels. Inside that, 0.4 times of, am I right? Or 0.5 times of EM means, REM means, it will be around 0.5 into 16 pixels. How much value it will? It will be 0.5 into 16 pixels. Oops. 0.5 into 16 pixels. 8 pixels you will get. That is what we are getting. Now you can go for the HTML properties, computer properties, you can find out the font size, something we have to see in that. That is what is called root empirical. Root empirical means it will take the property values from the HTML root element. If it is the EM, it will take from empirical, the body element. Okay? It will take the body element. Hope you understand this one, the font size. Okay? And